welcome. This is Learn Scripts and Lyrics. My name is Gift Swani and I am here with Sohe. Today we journey to the 1980s Ibadan through the film The Farmer's Bride. This movie puts a spotlight on one of the oldest conflicts of our culture, choice versus tradition. It doesn't just tell a story, but it questions what love becomes when choice is taken off the table. So today we will do a breakdown from the world that the film takes us to the characters driving us through tension and moments when tradition collides with choices. So don't go anywhere, because when we get back, we will go fully into the conversation for today. Sit tight.
dá mi lójú pé màámi á súre fún ìgbéyàwó yìí.
Kí la fẹ́ fi ṣe?
Kí ló ṣe nígbà?
Kí ni mo rò pé mo ṣe nígbà? Káìkì.
Mi fẹ́ kú.
Ọkọ mi jẹ́ mi wèrè o.
Òótọ́ ni.
Tó ń já wèrè ni.
You said you love me.
Ibi tí wàhálà gbọ̀ngàn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn.
Fẹ́mi.
Farmer's Bride first premiered in cinemas September 27, 2024 and began streaming on Netflix October 17, 2025. This movie earned 37.1 million in its first opening weekend, setting a record for an 18-rated Nollywood film in 2024. It also grossed 89 million naira in its first 12 days and later recorded 154 million naira. The story follows Funmi, a young girl who was forced to marry a wealthy old man, Odun. Odun hopes to find love and happiness, but instead, it becomes a tale of conflict, desire, betrayal, and eventually a haunting consequence. This movie isn't about a typical love story. It's a quiet tragedy wrapped up in culture and silence.
It was directed by Adebayo Tijani and Jack Eneth Opukere. It is a Film One production and it stars actors like Mercy Aigbe, Femi Branch, Toby Bakre, Bumbemi Ejeye, Efe Irele, and Wumi Toriola. Very small cast but significant. It's a film inspired by the poem by Charlotte Mew, published in 1912, also titled The Farmer's Bride. Now, in this poem, the farmer goes to get a young bride, but after a while, after some time, she runs away, and then he finds out that she's no longer in the house, and then he takes his community, his friends, to go in search of this girl. They get her back, they put her in a room, they lock her up like she's some kind of possession. So this makes her to have hatred for humanity and the male kind more. But then Adebayo and Jack Kenneth brought a little twist. In fact, a big twist to the movie itself. They made it a lot more dramatic and culturally rooted, and I really liked that about that. One thing I really liked about this movie is the performance from the actors. I feel like that's one of the greatest, is the strength of this movie.
Yeah, the performance from the actors was really, really good. Funmi's performance is real and you could feel the emotions. She didn't rush. She delivered her character very well.
Yeah.
Also, Odun too, he brought this mix of power and lowliness. And Toby brought charm and danger to this movie. But you could also see that the chemistry between Toby and Funmi was very natural.
Very, very
and we should not also forget Mercy Aigbe and Ife Irele. They also brought depth into this movie.
I would say that Mercy Aigbe stole the spotlight in this movie because she gave such a stellar performance that she becomes one of the most memorable actors in this movie. The priestess who is torn between vengeance and loyalty. Loyalty for her son, vengeance for whoever it is that has killed her best friend and brother-in-law in court. So it was such a beautiful performance from her. Efe really brought relief into this movie and missed the whole tension that was going on. She still found a way to make us feel relieved and, laugh a little bit. So beautiful performance from all of the actors.
So I would say one thing that really stood out for me in this movie is the cinematography. Virtually, this movie is pure poetry. Every frame feels painted and every emotion, every shot carries emotion. The cinematography captures the soul of the 1980s rural Ibadan.
True.
And there is a rhythm of how the camera moves, slow and deliberate. I will also say that the director didn't just use the light alone to illuminate, he also used it to communicate emotions. I would say that alone stood out for me in this movie.
I also like the fact that they paid a lot of attention and details to their costuming, to props. Especially, this is a 1980s movie and they did not forget that. If you look around the house, if you look around the village, let me go to Odun's house, you know, particularly.
Yes.
We all know that he's a wealthy farmer, but they did not take away that fact that this is still a village man.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of pots that he used in his house, the kind of stove he was using, the dining setting, the way the parlor was set, the sitting room was set, all of that, even their costuming,
Yes,
down to the kind of fabric that they used to, you know, to make all of their clothes. The styling, there is Fumi, who is the village girl who has not been exposed to the city life, and there is Banke, who goes to the city, she comes back, we see that her style has changed, her hairstyling as well has changed. You know, they paid details to all of these things, and it also made the movie look really beautiful.
Yeah, the costume, it's also like a story on its own. It also tells its story on its own.
You can
From
say that.
all those early tune of Agbada to Fumi's youthful Ankara design. So I would say that the costume is really, really good. And again, one thing that I love about this movie is that it's not just a movie about marriage. It's a movie that shows that silence speaks louder than words. So yeah, I really, really love the movie, and I love the progression of the movie. The progression of the movie is quite interesting because they didn't rush it, and the movie unfolded itself. They didn't stretch, they didn't do nothing. I love how the movie progressed from how we saw that, okay, Fumi was betrothed. Should I say betrothed? She was given to Odun.
Yeah.
We felt like, oh, okay, yeah, she's just a young girl that got married to Odun, not knowing that it was beyond that.
There was more to that.
Yes.
I would like to give a very big kudos to the directors. In as much as this plot was simple, direction style was pretty simple, but they were still able to keep us hooked. They were able to keep us hooked to the storyline, and they took us through each and every emotion from all of the characters, every process. For example, Fumi, when we saw her, just like you said, we thought that the movie is just going to be about this young girl that has been married to this old man, you know. We didn't know what to expect, but we didn't expect to see what we saw as well. And they watered the ground for us, because when I saw Toby, I knew that there's going to be a problem. Fire is on the mountain already, and they took us through all of these. They showed us Fumi's deep unhappiness, the rebellion, and then now took us into the final act where they all got to reap the consequences of their actions.
Yeah, I would say that I didn't like how the movie ended. Kama should have caught up with Fumi alone, but Femi was caught in between because he was part of the culprit that led to the death of his uncle. So I didn't like that part though. I didn't like that part about the movie.
I don't have a problem with how it ended, because when you think about it, there are certain times that innocent people are caught up in the web of our actions. That is why you need to be really careful of the actions that you make, because there are consequences for everything. But if you tell me that there is no closure, fine, because in the movie, I'm not sure that Morenike got to really know what her son was up to.
She didn't know.
She just had speculations that Fumi killed her friend, but I'm not sure that she really know what happened. So there was no closure. But aside that, also the fact that there was no proper exploration, you know, in the characters.
Mercy Aigbe and
that, and Odun, yeah.
There was no exploring more on their relationship until she had a conversation with her son, and also when Fumi also had a conversation with Femi. That was when we got to understand that, okay, so I would rate the movie a 9 out of 10.
I would rate it an 8 over 10.
We've come to the end of the first segment of Flex, Scripts and Lyrics. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll dive straight into the second segment.
Tyla is back with another music video.
They brought out these, the 90s settings. So I liked her costume really, really well. The costume really goes with the
along
music
with the song,
video.
yeah.
So I would say that the cinematography too is stunning. They had warm lighting and everything was good. The camera did just focus on Tyla's face alone. It adores her. So yes, I would say that the cinematography was good.
Every frame, especially the close-up frame, it captured Tyla as intimate, as confident. I'll give it an 8/10 because to me it's perfect. It's more than just luxury. It's more about, like you said, self-worth, believing in yourself as a woman, telling yourself that you are the prize. Because just like the music video says, Tyla says in an interview that it's not just about giving her luxury things, it's more about adoring her and seeing her as the most important. So guys, we have come to the end of this episode. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms at unravels Studios. Thank you for watching. Till next time, bye guys.